Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the JM Toys, or Joyman Toys, Crazy Criminal. This is a 1/12 scale, third-party, unauthorized, unlicensed The Joker from Batman The Dark Knight Returns. I pre-ordered this from 1/6 Kit. It's a website that specializes in these type of things. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, it's a bunch of laughter. Ha ha ha, and you can see the smiley face in the background. It's actually a really cool package. It's really the same thing all around. No barcode, no words, no nothing. So with no further ado, let's open it up. Alright, now that with this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He has quite a bit of cool stuff. We have 2 heads, some cotton candy, a wristwatch, a pistol with a long barrel, a knife, some lipstick, a cigarette, and 16 interchangeable hands. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Joker based off The Dark Knight Returns, where he wears a white suit. Although this one has black pants, a purple shirt, and a white suit, it is a look that I don't believe was in the Dark Knight Returns comic. It's sort of Joyman Toys version of the Dark Knight Returns Joker, and it's kind of cool. He looks decent. Matches the Batman they recently released, which also had sort of their own twist to it. So let's take a look. Starting with his face here, head sculpt is excellent. Look at the hair, look at the eyebrows, look at a little bit of purple above the eyes, like he's wearing eyeshadow, big smiling mouth, teeth, red lips, typical the Joker, and it looks older, kind of like the Dark Knight Returns. The hair screams Dark Knight Returns. I like it. He's got a white coat, purple shirt, black tie, and I just cannot get that stupid thing to stay straight. He's got gloves with the fingers removed, and then black slacks and dress shoes. Overall, he does look good. Now, the arm looks like it is double jointed, goes in about this far, shoulders go out about that much, about that far before it starts to not let you. Double jointed knees, you can see his white skin. For the most part, it looks and it feels pretty good. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, which I think the sculpt is fantastic, as is the paint job. Very well done. The head maybe seems a little bit big on the body, but not by much. It definitely has a lot of elements from the Dark Knight Returns, and kind of has a Joyman Toys twist. I think it looks great. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 16 hands. Mine has 7 left hands and 9 right hands, which I think is a mistake. I think it should have 8 of each. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his next pair of hands. It's kind of like a pair of gripping hands. I describe more as a pair of grabbing hands. Here's his next pair of hands. This is a pair of what I describe as pinching hands. And his next pair of hands. These are the devil ears. So these are rock-on hands. Not sure why he comes with these, besides just trying to be cool. And his next pair of hands, these ones are giving up the bird. He's saying fuck you to Gotham City and Batman. Once again, I don't remember him doing this in the Dark Knight Returns book, but it is a pretty cool hand out for an action figure. Can have a lot of fun with these. And his next pair of hands, these ones have the middle finger down like he's about to flick something. And his next pair of hands, his right hand is pretty much totally open. His left hand has the last 2 fingers shut. He has an additional right hand that's a gripping hand with a trigger finger. And he has one more additional right hand, which is another gripping hand with a trigger finger, which I think is identical to the previous one, and I think was supposed to have been a left version of this hand. And I wanted to mention his wrist joint. It doesn't really have a traditional sort of mushroom type peg, almost looks like it broke off. The hands do stay on okay, but they fall off kind of easily because there's no sort of cap type piece to sort of lock and keep it in place. The Joker has 2 heads, one with a smiling expression and one with more of a laughing expression and the batarang stuck in the eye. Traditional Dark Knight Returns type head sculpt. And if you're gentle enough, you can pull the batarang out of the eye, and it looks gruesome. Let's put that thing back in there. Here's a look at his first and more normal head, which I think has a great sculpt and paint job. And then his second head, which has the batarang in the eye, which is also a fantastic head sculpt. The way the smile is, the mouth, it just screams The Dark Knight Returns. And here's that alternate head with the batarang removed. It does seem like the head sits on the neck a little bit too low, and it's a problem I have more so with the regular head, which is disappointing as that's a head I'm going to want to use most of the time. It's not horrible, but just a tad higher would make a big difference. Now let's look at his wristwatch. I don't remember the significance of a wristwatch in The Dark Knight Returns. It's just a small little watch you can put around his wrist when you swap the hands in and out. Here's the Joker wearing that wristwatch, maybe just a little bit looser than I'd like. Now we have his pistol and his knife. It's a revolver with a long barrel, a very Joker type weapon. And we have this knife that looks like it's probably a switchblade of sorts. Here's the Joker holding that revolver. And then here, holding that knife. And here are his other accessories. We have a thing of cotton candy, which he fed to the Boy Scouts, poisoned and killed them. We have a little cigarette or cigar, and it's got smoke coming out of it. The Joker was definitely smoking in The Dark Knight Returns. And then we have the thing of lipstick. How do you think he gets those red lips? He was definitely applying lipstick, and I think it was poison lipstick in The Dark Knight Returns. Here's the Joker holding that cotton candy, although he's definitely not going to eat it. And here's the Joker holding that cigar. And then here's the Joker applying that lipstick. It's a very small and easy to lose accessory. Same with the cigar. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 6.3 inches tall, which is going to translate to around 16 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, you're going to rotate side to side. He can look up about that far, down about that much. Can tilt his head at least a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up about 90 degrees. The jacket's going to kind of prohibit a little bit of that. And notice he has no jacket sleeve under there. You feel like he has sort of drop down shoulders. I can see a little up and down motion there. And then go up about that far till the jacket's just not going to let you go any further. I feel a little bit of butterfly joint going forward and back. There is some kind of a bicep rotation in there. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate and it's going to be hinged, but like I said, they're kind of easy to pop off. Hinged as well. Torso, it does feel like there's a ball joint inside of here. Rotate around, forward and back the tiniest bit. I'm sure there's another one in his waist. Rotate around, forward and back. A little bit more range of motion on the waist than the torso. Legs, they go about this far. The pants obstruct it from going further. They can go forward, about that far. Back not much. There is pretty good rotation of the thigh. Double jointed knees. And his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock the tiniest bit. And that is about it. Here's a look at the Joker, putting up both middle fingers for Batman and Gotham City. Now let's talk about next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Joyman toys and some other Dark Knight Returns figures. Here's the Joyman toys, Crazy Criminal or Joker, next to the Joyman toys, Dark Knight Returns Batman, called the Night Ranger. These two are meant to go together as a set, based off the Dark Knight Returns, but have the sort of Joyman style add to them, I guess. And I think they're both good figures. Suffer from some minor quality control issues. They look good. Batman is ugly, even for a Dark Knight Returns Batman, which is a very bold statement. It's like they're from the Dark Knight Returns, but the wrong little sort of spin on them. And so far, here are all the figures I have from Joyman Toys. We have the Red Sun Batman, Dark Knight Returns Joker, and Dark Knight Returns Batman. All third-party Batman-related figures. They made some other stuff, but these are the only ones that interested me. Curious what they're going to come up with next. Now let's check them out, next to some other Dark Knight Returns Joker figures. Here he is, next to both the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Joker figures. And here, next to Mattel's Dark Knight Returns Joker. Then, with the DC Direct Dark Knight Returns Joker figures. There's actually a third one that I don't have. That one came with a 2-pack, Batman and Joker. And now, with McFarlane's DC Multiverse Dark Knight Returns Joker. So here's a look at all of my Dark Knight Returns Joker figures by Mafex, McFarlane, Joyman Toys, DC Direct, and Mattel. Now let's check him out with some other Dark Knight Returns Batman figures. Here he is next to the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Batman. And here he is with Mezco's version of this Batman. Then, with Mattel's DC Multiverse Dark Knight Returns Batman. Next, with the DC Direct Dark Knight Batman. And now, with the DC Direct Animated Dark Knight Returns Batman. And finally, with McFarlane's DC Multiverse Dark Knight Returns Batman. Now let's check them out next to some other third-party unlicensed Joker figures. Here's the Joyman Toys Dark Knight Returns Joker, next to a couple of Felix Toys Joker figures. On the left, we have their Joaquin Phoenix Joker figure, and on the right, their Heath Ledger Joker. And here, with some Patriot Studios, Joaquin Phoenix, Arthur Fleck, and Joker figures. Then, with the SSR Endgame Joker. And finally, with the Caillou model Nightmare Joker from Zack Snyder's Justice League. The next third-party Joker I'm aware of coming out is, I think, called the Trickster, and it's based off the 1966 Cesar Romero Joker. And here he is, next to some Mezco Joker figures. A tad smaller, but not by much. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a Joyman Toys figure, they're the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the smaller action figure lines I collect, and work way larger, and I'm going to include as many Joker figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and some SH Figure Arts Joker figures. And now, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends and Mafex Joker figures. Here's his Joker, next to a Sub Bun. And here he is, with some Mattel and Mezco Joker figures. Then, with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some NECA and DC Direct figures. Next, with some Diamond Select Toys and Jack Specific wrestling figures. And finally, with some McFarlane DC Multiverse Joker figures. So overall, it's a cool Joker figure. It's a cool sort of Dark Knight Returns inspired Joker figure. It's a little bit shorter than I would have liked. The quality control is good, but here are my complaints. The clothing is a little bit restrictive in both the shoulders and the hips. The hands don't stay on as good as I'd like. Hell, mine was missing a hand, which I expect to get replaced. And on the regular head, the head seems to be a little bit too low and makes it look like he has no neck. Also, I can't get my stupid tie to stop sticking to his right side. And there's a lot of good things going for him. I think the sculpt and paint job are excellent on the head. The accessories are great. So many little things, so much attention to detail. His articulation, even though the clothing restricts a little bit, it's actually not that bad. The articulation itself is pretty good, and the clothing doesn't hurt it that much. If I were to rate this figure, I'm probably going to go with a 6.5 out of 10. And I'm kind of leaning toward a 7, but I think I'm going to land at 6.5. He just has some things going against him, but he does look pretty damn good. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to save the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.